Hello, and welcome to the Black Dice Society. This is episode 9, Only Lasting Death. After you all meet with Vladeska Drakov, she curtly dismisses you, and you are sent back to your heavily fortified, well-defended, slightly inescapable domicile for your last good night's sleep before the night of the new moon, before the oncoming zombie hordes. After varying levels of difficulty, sleep finds all of you that sleep finds, of course. In Nahara, tell me, in this 3-story brownstone style house, which you actually hadn't seen yet, where in the house would Nahara have slept?
I would say I snoop around for a bit until I find probably a comfortable, quiet space away from everyone, just to reflect on what's transpired.
Sometime in the night, although you never quite lose awareness of your environment, your sense of time and space is somewhat diluted, especially by that familiar feeling that comes upon you every single night of running, falling, desperation, and death. You feel a presence in the room with you, a presence that you actually have felt before.
Hello?
Oh, my child. I apologize if I've disturbed you. Might I join you for a moment?
Do I see her?
Before she says, may I join you, you don't see anything. You feel something, you hear something, you don't see anything.
I feel as though if I said no, you would still stick around. So,
Oh, no, actually. If you ask me to leave, I will do so right now. But I assure you, I am only here as a friend. Everyone says that, but I actually mean it.
and how is it that you mean it, seeing as how we don't know each other?
Once again, might I come in?
Yes, of course, it would be very rude of me if I continued this conversation without inviting you in.
Against the wall, there's a tall wardrobe. Again, this house, now in the Bastion Quarter, where the Talons reside in Lakar, was once a thriving merchants district in times long past, and the furniture here is very well made. And with a loud creak, the door to this dresser opens up, this tall wardrobe, and a very old, very withered hag steps out, the same one you saw at Pickwick Market.
My goodness, were you just there the whole time?
Oh, no. You will find every door is a gateway if you simply know how to access it. And she extends her gnarled, knotted fingers a few times, and her face is terrible and lumpy and misshapen. And she says, I just wanted to look you in the eye when I said, I'm sorry.
Sorry for what?
You came to me in need, and I allowed fear and self-preservation to cloud my duties. Can you forgive me for my cowardice?
I'll forgive you. Does that mean there's something you'd like to tell me?
Yes. After our meeting, I spoke with some of my sisters in the Hourglass Coven, and I came to understand just how special you are. There are not many who thread the needle of life and death with such frequency and capability as you.
Is that so?
Yes. Now, I'm aware that there are certain competing interests for your attention, dare I say your very soul. I just want you to know that you have sisters, and more importantly, you have power that I have come to help you access.
Well, that's very kind of you, but I will state right now that my soul is my own.
I should certainly hope it remains so. Tell me, you know, you have spent a good amount of time around that nervous cleric, Brother Uriah. Has he told you anything about the true nature of the spirit world, assuming he even knows?
We haven't really gotten to speak on such deep matters, as there have been things attacking us quite frequently.
Yes, and unfortunately, my child, you will have much and more before your story is done. There will be combat, death, war, betrayal that waits you on your path, I am sad to say, and yet that path must be walked. But it does not need to be walked without guidance.
That seems wise.
Do you remember the night that you met your newfound comrades? There was a spirit board that those sisters were making use of.
Yes. Yes, I do.
There is a power in communing with spirits, and once you learn how to gain their attention, eventually you can gain their cooperation.
Well, that sounds very useful indeed.
You see, she begins to pat her lumpy, misshapen body and reaches her hand into her robes and produces a small box and hands it to you.
I take and open it.
Inside, there is an unusual deck of cards.
What's this?
A Taroka deck. It can answer many questions. Things that were, things that may be.
And it really works.
It works if you do. Might I bestow upon you a small blessing of the Hourglass Coven? No strings attached, as so few things in the mist are.
I don't believe you. There's got to be something that you want.
There is one
I'm
thing
a
I
reasonable
want.
person.
I
Yes.
want you to win.
Well, that's something we can both agree on, isn't it?
She reaches one of her gnarled, knotty fingers out like she's going to touch you on the forehead, but she does so very slowly. Do you let her?
Yes.
When you do, you feel a shockwave go through you, and you become aware of the presence of countless entities around you. You don't see them. You just know they're there, especially in a place of war and death and torment like Lakar. There are far, far, far more spirits than there are people. But they're here, and they are real.
Oh. Well, that will take some getting used to.
It will, but I assure you in time, you will be capable of great wonders indeed. And you see she turns her head and kind of looks off into the distance, and she says, "My time is elapsed. I must depart. We will not..."
How do I...
Oh, you will know, Nahara. You will know. We will not meet again for some time, but we will meet. And when that time comes, I look forward to celebrating what you have become.
Likewise.
And she turns and she walks backwards towards the cabinet and she opens it and she says, "Many of your friends have made certain agreements, some consciously, some unconsciously. Watch over them, Nahara, or they will be torn apart."
I shall do my best.
She opens the door, and right before she turns in, she says, "Valentine in particular is curious. She likes to act like she's so terrible. I assure you, she is telling the truth." And she steps into the closet and shuts the door. And you are alone.
I do take a closer look at the deck.
Every time you look at these cards, you shuffle, and when you turn it over, you notice the images move and sway just slightly. And you realize you have gained not just a number of new advisors, but a number of new friends that can guide you to untold power.
Wow. Isn't this lovely?
And with that, hello and welcome to the Black Dice Society, episode 9, Only Lasting Death. Now, as we always say at the top of these shows, Ravenloft is a horror campaign. It is D&D, but it is horror D&D. These episodes in particular are disaster horror, and as such, there will be things that come up in tone and in content that might be troubling to some people. We have a system of safety tools in place for the cast. I'm aware of their lines and veils. They also have ways to let me know if something is bothering them. If we're going through a scene and it changes suddenly, you might know that maybe somebody sent up the yellow flag. I have to tell you, in this episode, and especially next week, there definitely will be violence. There will be all sorts of people being in all sorts of peril. So be advised, this is may not be what you're accustomed to in standard Dungeons and Dragons. Now, with that firmly in mind, let us meet our cast. And I will go in the order that you all are on my screen, starting with who we have just met now, Nahara.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nora Ibrahim, and tonight I am playing Nahara, a reborn fallen Azamar undead warlock.
Brother
Now
Uriah.
with the Taroka deck.
Now with the Taroka deck. Don't know why, right? As one does. You know, it's hags just show up and give people things. That's cool. That's cool.
Putting
brother,
in a request for a oh, sorry.
No, putting in a request
putting in a request for a bag of holding in the future sometime.
You know, that's I feel like I understand where they came from now with mystical hoarders that just accumulate things, basically. Brother Uriah.
Oh, hello, I'm Mark Muir. I'm playing our resident cleric of the grave, Brother Uriah, priest of Ezra, Lady of the Mists.
Finn.
Hello, I'm Tanya, no cipher Tier Online. I'm playing Fen, your Drow Dumpier Blood Hunter.
The completely misunderstood sweetest being Valentine.
Yes, of course. Hi, I'm Sage Ryan, but tonight I am Valentine. Valentine is a reborn aberrant mind sorcerer, and we both use she, her pronouns.
Excellent. Desmond.
Oh, hi, I'm DJ Knight. I am playing Desmond, a human ranger inflicted, or not really afflicted, enjoying a bit of a lycanthropy. It's kind of nice. His pronouns are he, him. Thank you all for tuning in and enjoying the show.
And last but certainly not least, Tatiana.
Hello, everyone. My name is Becca Scott. You can find me everywhere on the internet at the Becca Scott, and you can find me on YouTube at Good Time Society. But here am Tatiana. I am full of rage, and I am ready to destroy anything that gets in my way, especially zombies, while I valiantly protect my friends, especially Valentine. He's a thing.
Absolutely. A couple things before we go on. I realize I have been remiss from pointing out that Claudia Raymond made this delightful Black Dice Society cross-stitch for us, which she was kind enough to send me. And the day I got it, I mentioned it on another stream, but I have not mentioned it on this one. So thank you so very much, Claudia.
That's
it's always
awesome.
Right over there. Like you said, I just had never taken the time to show that I had it up that quickly. Also, as an aside, since word is we're not the only D&D show on Thursday nights, our friends at WizKids has blessed me with the new CR mini set. I posted a quick picture of all of them on my Twitter. I owe you all a proper unboxing. Thank you to CR. Thank you to WizKids. I can verify the set is incredible. So definitely get yours as soon as you can. Also, before we go on too long, we have to thank all of our sponsors here. Thank you to Die Hard Dice. There are custom sets available for all of our wonderful characters, but about half of them have sold out already, and I don't know when they'll be back. So if you were thinking about getting some of them, you should grab them soon. Just use code BDS at checkout to get 10% off of our sets or any of the other incredible things they have on dieharddice.com. Our TeePublic store is live. I'm remiss. I took my mug to wash it. I don't have it close, but t-shirts, mugs, bags, masks. I wear my Black Dice Society mask everywhere I go now. Pillows, anything you want is available in our TeePublic store. Hopefully that link is in the chat now. Secret Lab chairs. Again, I love mine. I spend more time here than anywhere but my bed. I actually think I spend more time here than my bed when I think about it. It's fantastic chairs, especially if you're a bigger guy, like a bigger person like me. It's wonderful. It's like riding around on the couch. Idle Champions, we have our code in chat right now, which is a exclam code to get your Idle Champions code there. Again, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that we have our Into the Motherlands Kickstarter that is going right now that Tanya and DJ and I are all a part of. It's been going really well. Thank you all for your support. Take a look if you have a chance. Last but not least, we have a Patreon where you can get early access to our podcast, our exclusive weekly after show, bonus content like Nahara and King Azul Rex, Tatiana's solo video, DM videos, and tips from me, and all sorts of other amazing things, including a bonus full-length episode, The Morning Rail, which has a nice Eberron tie there. So if you're into Eberron, maybe check out The Morning Rail on our Patreon, which is patreon.com/The Black Dice Society. Of course, we have a Discord, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We are everywhere, all over the socials. And with that firmly in mind, let us dive back into our story. The morning comes early, before dawn. You all are greeted by the horrific smell of burning flesh. And you know immediately that they are putting the many impaled people on the walls of Lakar to the torch. Because literally every man, woman, and child in this city knows what is going to happen at midnight tonight. And there is no reason, essentially, to bolster their enemies' numbers with legions of fresh corpses just outside the wall. As you awake, you find the people are of a resolute spirit. The air in Lakar is heavy, but it is not hopeless. These people realize they are faced with something terrible, but they seem resolved to face it. It may well be a combination of the desperation of a cornered animal. It may well be the fact that they know cowardice is punished with an even greater ferocity than anything the undead will do. So people go about their work quietly, but diligently. Again, every human being in this city, and they are all human beings, except for any of you that are not. I suppose Desmond and Brother Uriah are our only humans here, leaving Nahara, Valentine, Finn, and Tatiana as the only non-humans you see anywhere in this city, except for the lycanthropes. But you can tell they are committed. And again, they are all armed. Some of them, most of them, dare I say, with makeshift weaponry, clubs, slings, sticks that have been broken and sharpened, farming implements. But everyone, regardless of age, is up and fighting. There is a hospital area that you find has been set up in the Bastion Ward. This is the only time that you've seen people who are not members of the Talons or trueborn of Falkovnia, which you've now realized a trueborn of Falkovnia doesn't necessarily mean you're from here. It is someone who has done something brave and glorious and worthy of recognition is what makes you a trueborn of Falkovnia. But you realize older people, sick people who verifiably do not have any sort of communicable plague have all been moved here to the innermost part of the city so that they can be cared for and are safe during it. There's actually triage hospitals set up right in the shadow of Vladeska Drakov's castle in the middle of Lakar. There also is a separate medical area for the Talons, which, Brother Uriah, you in particular can tell the difference between these two facilities. The ones for the commoners really is treatment to the best of their ability. It is frontier medicine. A lot of it is cruel. A limb is far more likely to be amputated than spend 6 months trying to rehab. But for the most part, they really are trying to care for these people. The Talons encampment, however, is much different. You see there is a retinue of false metallic limbs that have already been set up. There are stimulants they've concocted to basically just shock soldiers to get up and just keep fighting. The tiny injured Talon will come in here and receive just enough treatment to take up their sword and go back out there, because they all know they have to last the night. And if they don't, the city falls, and with it, every living thing in Falkovnia. Once you all are up, they again provide you with what food they can muster. You can tell based on the treatment of the Talons, you all are being treated as honored guests to the best of their ability, but the reality is there isn't enough to go around here. The Talons still get fed a little more than the commoners, but no one here is carrying around a lot of excess weight from privilege and gorging themselves. Everyone has what they need to keep going. And it becomes very clear to you that you all are invited as honored guests to come and visit any section of the city any level of preparations that are being made, and also to train with Vladeska Drakov's forces to both learn yourself and impart upon them things that you might be able to teach to help them survive. Because the word of these 6 travelers who made it through the mists, who even got into Falkovnia, who survived the massacre at Del Munster, who won the esteem of Bjorn Horseman, and strangely even got away with talking back to Vladeska Drakov without being impaled, which seems to be the strangest thing you all have succeeded, has spread quickly, and there are very few doors that are closed to you in this city. So I will ask you all how you spend the morning here. Presumably, Nahara, you spend it working with your Taroka cards and seeing what insight you might be able to glean.
Yes.
Brother Uriah, how do you spend the morning?
Brother Uriah wakes feeling refreshed and fulfilled, having worked long into the night with the priests of Lakar, developing the cure for the undead plague which was spreading in the poorer quarters. I believe that I shall spend the morning administering it to those who were afflicted, ensuring that they are not executed and burned with the others, and hopefully saving as many as I can. Of course, we also apply the cure to those of us who were infected.
Excellent. As I believe you and Desmond, and possibly Finn, if I recall correctly, were infected. Yes, you absolutely are able to save yourselves and regain your strength in the process. Brother Uriah, while you're working with these priests, you realize they're not unskilled. They have, again, their beliefs are strange. They seem to worship no particular god other than just Falkovnia, essentially. They stop short of completely deifying Vladeska Drakov, but only just in their commitment to their Vaterland. But they actually even help you gain a little keener insight into the nature of the undead, and more importantly, what it takes to stop them.
Indeed. And working in this task for the benefit of the innocent citizens of Lakar, I have never felt my connection to Ezra as strong as it is now. I feel her within me. The grace of Ezra shall guide me.
Excellent. Finn, how does Finn spend the morning?
Ben spends the morning in the company of the lichens that were in the party, that were with the others. She was drawn to them both out of concern and interest, especially after getting a taste of Valentine's blood. And
we will actually come back to your time with the lycanthropes, because that is significant. Yes, you can have spent the morning with them, but we'll come back to that.
Okay. But that's what she did.
Excellent. How does Valentine spend the morning?
Valentine spends her morning essentially taking the time to actually kind of commune with the voices in her head and spend the time away from everybody for a moment to just have some actual kind of conversation with Tregram and connect and investigate more of what he has to offer, and utilizes that in the form of training, essentially. She's out just kind of like shooting off spells far away from people, not hit anyone with an Eldritch Blast if possible.
As you are doing this, you very much hear Tregram's voice in your ears. Oh, yes, you have grown in power, Valentine. If I might make a suggestion, one of your greatest strengths is how you have, how to put this diplomatically,
compartmentalized your mind. Did you know you could apply this to your spells in such a way that you might be able to duplicate certain effects?
I'm just gonna take a moment and let a little bit more of the kind of like black goo that seeps out of her eyes drip down, and I'm gonna attempt to twin a spell.
You very much see the firebolt leaps from your fingers and splits into two. Boom, boom, hitting two targets.
Tregram, I have a dilemma.
No.
Many of the things that I feel that I'm good at aren't this. They aren't shooting things off in the distance. They aren't hitting things like Tatiana. It's people. I'm good at people. Training like this does not service me.
What do you think you require to help achieve your greater glory, which is, of course, all that I fervently desire?
Someone to practice on.
Look over there to your left. Do you see that man there that is shoring up those fortifications? It has been 6.5 minutes since he swung his hammer. I think if any of the Talons were to find out, they would be quite cross indeed. Or if you were to extract a proper punishment, I'm sure you would have their gratitude.
I stare at him for a moment and then just kind of reach up my hands and say, swing. And I'm going to cast suggestion on him.
You see, he turns and looks at you and he's like, yeah, I'm trying, but my shoulder, I feel that it has come out of the socket. And he just stops and he looks at you for a moment and just turns back to the wall and boom, 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 like faster than ever. And one of the Talons walks by and looks at him and looks at you and goes, jawohl, you've motivated him. Ja, sehr gut. Ja.
It's my specialty.
We are very grateful to have you fighting alongside us here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anything I can do for you? Do you need the weapons or the armor? Or would you like just a wonderful vantage point here?
I'd like to cast Detect Thoughts on him.
Excellent. He means what he's saying. In his mind, it takes you a second to figure out what he's trying to say to you because you think he's actually talking to himself in a different language that is not the language of these people, but you're able to sort of calibrate. And he basically is like, yeah, with the power of ones like this, like these strangers, success is guaranteed. Perhaps we will not have a repeat of the River Ward. Yeah, perhaps we can drive the undead back and restore Lekar to its greater glory, even with this one decisive battle. Yeah, yeah.
What motivates you to fight?
Oh, the glory of Alkovnia, the glory of Vladeska Drakov, yeah.
Glory or fear?
I only fear disappointing meinem Bruders and Schwesters, brothers and sisters.
I've still got Detect Thoughts up. That goes for a minute.
He's telling the truth. He is prepared to die doing this. You also know his mind goes back through countless battles that Vladeska Drakov has led him through. He really believes in her. He's not brainwashed. He's like, she's a genius. She will lead us to greater glory. We just have to hold out tonight.
All right. I'll just walk away. And while I'm walking away in my head to Tregram, I think that what I would like is to understand how to motivate people in such a way. She's done something very special here that I think is quite admirable.
Yes. If I might hazard an assumption based on what I've observed, is she has struck a very delicate balance between respect and abject terror. They believe she will do what she says, and they also greatly fear her wrath should she become incensed.
Interesting.
Give me, Valentine, a perception check.
All right, that is dirty 20.
As you're sort of walking away, especially when he thinks just sort of your interaction is done, there is one thing he's afraid of: a repeat of the River Ward. He doesn't want that to happen again. You know, from where you went over there, this is where the people infected with the plague were, but it essentially was a section of the city that they tactically gave up. They fell back, reinforced, and everybody over there died, which is why the city is a ruin. And no one's really, except the sick and the displaced, are over there now. He's really afraid they're going to lose another chunk of Lakar.
Okay.
Desmond, how do you spend the morning?
Desmond spends half of his morning kind of following Fen just to see what she's up to. And once he sees that she goes to hang out with the Lycans, he kind of goes off to learn with the same people that Brother Uriah were teaching the cure to. So he can kind of get a little balance of both. He's learning some fighting, he's learning some healing, and just spending some time focusing on trying to be better.
When Desmond appears at the medical tent, of course, bring a small potion bottle over to him. Desmond, you're here. Good. You must drink this. It will remove the taint in your blood.
Perfect. He just takes it and, trusting, just downs the entire thing and just it tastes like trash, but here you go. Thanks.
Yes. The taint should be completely gone now. Brother Uriah looks around. Why is everyone laughing whenever I mention the taint?
I think you may be
too
young for me to explain that one to you.
It's been happening all evening. It's serious business.
Sometimes taint about what you're talking about when it comes to the taint is just, it's there, and it's a thing that exists.
We call it the gallows humor. Yes, it's the gallows humor. You must laugh when you are afraid. That's why we say these things. He says this. Yeah.
Yes, I'll keep that in mind. I don't know if I can laugh that much.
Nah.
You got this. I believe in you.
And last, but certainly not least, before we detour back to Finn's training, how does Tatiana spend the morning?
I think anyone can guess how Tatiana spends her morning. She wakes up, she runs laps around entire perimeter of wall, and then she goes to seek out Freya, the soldier, the one with scars, almost as many scars as Tatiana herself has.
When you find Freya, she is standing in a courtyard. All of her armor is off, just sort of the underclothes is on. And she's standing there with her arms up and an intense frown on her face. And two very large men are hitting her with sticks. They kind of hit her legs a couple times. They hit her on the sides. They hit her on the shoulders. And she's just like...
I can tell from her intensity. This is not necessarily something she does not want. I do not interrupt, but I make myself seen. I stand closer and watch.
You see her eyes sort of turn and look at you for a second, and she looks at both of them, and she just sort of goes, and they start hitting harder to the point that both sticks break. Just, and they both like look at her, and they're like,
Who's next? Can I go next?
They turn and look at you, and they look at each other, and she goes, I think Vladeska Drakov would become quite cross with us if we were to injure one of our visiting diplomats on the eve of battle.
It's very charming you would say these words, but it's very difficult to injure me.
She looks at you for a moment, and she says, I think you are strong, but you are undisciplined. You have not accessed the beast in your heart.
I don't know what you mean. I have been in fighting rings since I was a mere child. I know how to fight with abandon. Discipline is not necessary to do what I do.
Yes, I give you a proper demonstration, yeah? And she snaps her fingers, and she goes, and stands like that again. The two men turn over and bring out morning stars, big spiky maces, and turn and look at her. And she says, and they smash into her, and she does not flinch. Yeah, I see in your eyes you do not understand this, but I will teach you if you wish to know. And you see she sort of like hunches slightly, and her lips are kind of pulled back. You've seen Desmond do something similar, but her body doesn't change, just her mannerisms. I will share this with you if you wish to know. Yeah, I can teach this thing. I think you are capable of learning, yeah?
Tatiana drops to her knees, puts her arms out down at her sides in a pose of supplication, and says, To you I will give my everything if you'll teach me to be as powerful as you are, Freya the soldier.
And you see the other two men sort of laugh, and she just snaps her fingers again. And you see she lifts her shirt, and both of them do too. You know, over their abs, they all have a tattoo that looks like a bear's face. And she says, no time for the tattoo, but, and she rummages through her bag, and she pulls out a wooden figurine of a bear and tosses it to you. Yeah. Bear, yeah?
The bear?
I show you how you have the strength of the bear. Yeah? The lycanthropes, they becomes the wolf people and the red person. Yeah, no, it's not the same thing. They are like the monster. 9. We have the beast in our hearts, and it makes us strong. Nothing can hurt us. I teach this to you. Yeah, I teach.
I am your disciple. Please, teach me what you know. And maybe, if there's time after the battle, I can get very, very beautiful tattoo.
She walks over and she pushes you over where you're on your hands and knees like a bear.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, yeah, be the bear, yeah? And she snaps her fingers, and you see the two dudes pick up the sticks and come towards you. And she looks you in the eye. She holds onto your face and doesn't let go. She's like, be the bear. Meanwhile, Finn, you do make your way across, and you find the 4 lycanthropes in the area just outside the bastion ward near the wall. Remember, there are 4 of them. There is Jaeger, who is a half man, half wolf, who is practicing with a very large sword, an almost impractically large sword, swinging it just in the air. There's Katze, who is the tiger woman, is doing pull-ups with one arm. And then every once in a while, she just switches and does the other arm. There is Aber, who is the boar, who is painting. He's just at a canvas painting a picture of Lakar. And there is Unge, who is the rat, who is sitting, picking at a stringed instrument, just sitting on a stack of hay. Bing, ding, bing. He's not half bad, but you can see he's not really trying to play any particular song, just sort of strumming at it. And as you walk into the area, all four of them sort of like turn in their own way and just sort of nod, but they don't stop.
I thought you might all be training. Well, more than painting or playing. What is the instrument you're playing?
It is a lyre. And whatever I have learned, I have learned. I will get no stronger or faster before midnight. At least I will enjoy these quiet moments. But I assure you, and you just see his hand flick. You don't see it move, it just flicks. And 3 daggers land in between your feet. One outside, one right in the middle, and one on the other side. I will be prepared.
I see. That's an impressive trick.
Almost impressive as this.
And he clenches his fist, and the 3 knives fly out of the ground and back into his hand.
Can I see strings or anything?
Nope.
Oh.
Back in a bandolier. And you see the boar that is painting, Eber, says, "Might I paint your portrait?"
Sure. Will there be enough time?
Not to do your beauty justice, but I will try my best.
All right. And while I'll sit and I won't quite do the paint me like one of your D&D French girls pose, but I will look over at Jaeger. Jaeger.
Yeah.
That's a fine weapon you've got there.
Ja, sehr gut. Mein Grandvater have left it to me. And he turns it over and hands it out to you. And you realize it is a claymore that is probably about 20% too big.
For me or him?
It's about 20% too big for him. It's about 30% too big for you. But he does hold the hilt out for you.
I just hover my hand over it and then stop. Are you sure it's all right for me to touch your weapon?
Oh, yeah, no, the weapon is just a tool. It's the, yeah.
I run my fingers over it in appreciation. I don't try to pick it up because I realize I probably will just be in the ground.
You realize it doesn't have a particularly sharp edge to it. You realize it is nearly as much a weapon of blunt force trauma as swordsmanship. But you realize it would probably cut a person in half if he swung it like he meant it. Yeah, you come to visit us. Also, and he just looks both ways. He's like, we did not get a chance to say thank you for you spoke up for us. Yeah. And Ketsa, the tiger, is like,
we know this seems strange. We seem strange. We are strange. But we choose this. Yeah, we choose.
You don't seem strange to me.
all 4 of them stop and look at you and just sort of nod. And she kind of drops from her pull-ups and she walks over to you and she goes,
we know you have an unusual scent. as does the red-headed one and the raven-haired one. You showed us kindness, so we have not spoken these things. We also know the big man is like us.
Oh, you mean Desmond?
Desmond is his name. Desmond is good name. What is your name?
Fen.
Well met, Finn.
Well met indeed. I'm curious. You said that you chose this. What made you choose?
You see Unge, the rat.
Last time, we fought to the best of our abilities. So many dead, so much lost. Bjorn Horstman said we could help save Lekar. We agreed. These three, they have families, things they love. I personally only care about being the greatest I can be. This was an unusual price to pay.
Runs his finger over his long rat-like snout.
But it is not without advantages.
And Fen just smiles, quick out of character. Is it the same day that I used my form, or is it the next day?
You've slept.
But I don't want to waste it before the fight.
You've had every indication you will have another chance to rest, because everybody knows they're going to fight all night. So it's like, get up, do some stuff, everybody kind of kick back, and then, it's going to go down. So
okay,
you will have an opportunity to rest again.
Okay, in that case, then I show them my other form.
You see, when you do this, they all just stop and look at you, and you see Aber, the boar who is painting your portrait, like just rips the canvas off and throws it to the side and starts like feverishly painting you just like this. And they all look at you and they're like,
sehr gut, yeah. You scare these people. It's okay. A little fear is good, I think. Gets the blood flowing.
Well, I intend to put fear into the enemies. I don't scare you, do I?
Nein. You are beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, sehr schön. Is there something we could do to repay this gift you have given us?
And she just smiles and lets her fangs show. Perhaps sharing a bit of your gift with me. For strength and for power.
You see, like, Katse starts to go towards you, and Jaeger reaches out and puts a hand on her arm, and kind of holds her back for a second. And he says,
I will share my strength with you. I wish to see you see the sun rise tomorrow. But I fear that whatever Bjorn Horseman has done to us may not agree with you.
I think I'll be okay.
he pushes a sleeve back, and again, you see just scars all over his rippling forearm. And he's like,
You don't take too much. I need this arm tonight, yeah?
Oh, I just need a taste.
That's how it starts, I think. And he does hand his arm out to you.
And I actually look over at Katya and I look back at him. Why did you stop her?
He turns and he looks at her and he looks at you and he says,
I smell the big man on you. I know you like wolves.
Well, Desmond is nice enough to let me hang out with him. So, and I just give him that, a coy smile, very gently brush his wrist and sink my teeth in.
His jaws are so strong, its fangs so sharp. I don't feel anything.
And you do feel the blood flow through you. Finn, you've tasted countless mortals, countless times. But there is something different about them. You feel the wildness and you feel the fury, but you also feel the magic of whatever Bjorn Horseman has done to them with his primal serum. And as this blood flows into you, you do feel something change a little. Your pulse speeds up a little. You feel your muscles kind of involuntarily tensing a little, and a heat in your heart that you are not familiar with.
He tastes good then.
He tastes great.
I do pull back so I don't drain him dry. But
you see, he takes a step back, and you see Katse goes like she's gonna like catch him if he's gonna fall, but he very much sort of just like stands up straight, just like rubs it for a second. And you notice that as he's rubbing it, it closes up right in front of you. Just
You understand now, yeah?
I understand, although I was going to kiss it better.
Yeah, maybe after we celebrate, right? I need to earn the benefits, the spoils of war, yeah.
Well, I'm not spoils, but I might come find you or Katja.
And they like elbow each other.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're like,
Tonight, we do not know where Vladeska Drakov will deploy us in the city. Wherever she sees will be the best place for our strength, but you are welcome to fight near us. The big man, too. Perhaps he can protect Unge. Unge is the little one.
and he looks up. He's like,
I do just fine.
Oh, I'm sure Unge will be just great.
and you, while you are here with them, the rest of you, wherever you are all gently asked to accompany a Talon. However, I believe, Nahara, you were attempting to do something with your Taroka cards.
Yes. Getting better acquainted with my new spirit friends and looking over these cards. And just finding out that Vladeska Drakov was the one who killed me. I just wanted a little insight into my enemy.
Muted.
Excellent. And what do the cards reveal?
How many cards would you want me to pull?
Just as an aside for our friends watching and listening, there is a Taroka card mechanic in Van Richten's guide now. Now let us find out. Draw 2. There are 54 cards in the deck. And here is how we will I guess you have the cards. I was about to say, let's simulate drawing the deck, but we don't have to simulate it. You have them. What was the first one you drew?
Dark Lord.
Oh, hang on. Let me look somewhere else. They're like, if you want to see the details, look in Curse of Strahd. I'm like, oh, great. Cool. Let's see. All right. I apologize. I have it now. Dark Lord, you say?
Yes.
Oh, that doesn't. Is there some other marking on the? Oh, there it is. A single powerful individual of an evil nature, one whose goals have enormous and far-reaching consequences. That is absolutely her. You realize she will do absolutely anything to defend Lakar. She will stop at absolutely nothing. She will never surrender. You also find out her greatest flaw is she will let everyone in this city die before she admits defeat. She will never, under any circumstances, give up or fall back. She will fight to the very last person, even if it's her.
Okay.
And what's
Good to know.
what's the other card?
Avenger.
All right.
This one has a number. It's number 1.
Yes, justice and revenge for great wrongs, those on a quest to rid the world of great evil. She really does believe she's doing the right thing. She really does want to make Lakar and Falkovnia a better place for everyone here. But
She didn't really make it a very good place for me.
But she truly believes that she and only she can fix this. She and only she can beat the undead. She and only she can turn the tide on this. No one can fix this but her. Draw one more.
Okay. Illusionist.
Lies and deceit, grand conspiracies, secret societies in the presence of a dupe or saboteur. Someone is actively plotting her death tonight. They do not intend for Vladeska Drakov to live through this battle.
Oh, well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
When you are done shifting through the deck of cards, you hear a quiet voice say, Entschuldigung bitte, I did not mean to interrupt. I also have an interest in the Teolka deck. And you see Bjorn Horseman standing there. Yeah, it's, you can gain insights to quandaries. On occasion, I find in my work as the arcanist, there are only so many logical solutions. Sometimes you must free your mind to think of something different. And the cards, they can be very helpful in this.
Yes, as I'm coming to find out, I do need to spend a little more time with them, as these are very new to me.
Have you gained any interesting new insights into how we will be victorious tonight?
You know, I didn't look into it, but I'm sure everything will be fine.
Yeah. Vladeska Drakov has delivered victory again and again. She will deliver us to victory tonight. Might I...
Of course.
Might you accompany me? I would like a word with you and your fellow diplomats.
Yes, of course. Lead the way.
All of you, again, are gently rounded up. Again, they ask very politely. If you ask for more time, they give it to you. And all of you are escorted towards this area where the lycanthropes are training. All of you give me perception checks.
16. I'll put it in the chat as well.
16, I got it.
Same as 16.
16?
Only
I
a
rolled a
9.
16, but mine's a
Nine.
17 with the
17.
Nat 20.
Natural 20. Perfect. And Desmond?
One doesn't want to roll, apparently.
Well, 20 is going to get it with Finn, so that's okay.
Brother Uriah is a little distracted because one of the soldiers explained something to him that he was wondering about earlier. He seems
Exactly.
He's blushing a lot, actually. And we were all together. He hands over a potion bottle to Valentine and says, "Valentine, you should drink this. It will remove your. It will cure you. It will cure you."
Sure. All right.
Do you also help Fen out?
Oh yes, of course. Yes, you are also. Yes.
Was I even
This will.
Well, presumably,
remember.
Theoretically,
I should
there's-
take it since I don't remember.
But say
think the three of
theoretically, there's no way Brother Uriah could know either way. So it makes, we'll just say for the sake of argument that he sort of hooks all of you up with.
I trust Uriah enough to drink it.
Yep.
I
Yes,
don't need
Let me
it.
say softly.
And of course,
Oh.
Fen, you as well. Better safe than sorry. You can't be too careful with the. You can't be too careful.
So Brother
Too
Uriah,
careful.
you see her in her full form when you come around the corner. He's like, you know.
It is Fen, so approach somewhat trepidatiously, but here you are, Fen.
Oh, I fold my wings back and I'm just like, "Hi, Uriah."
Oh, new developments, I see.
Maybe. And I just smile. My fangs are longer because of these changes. Oh, Uriah.
You do see right then, Aber turns the portrait he's been painting around, and you look incredible. But it's not just you; it's you with the four of them, like rushing into battle, like wings spread and fangs bared, and they're like coming forward. And he's like, "Yeah, they're good, yeah."
Yeah. Is that good?
Yeah, it's, your hangs like this. It's the sideways, you know, so we have plenty of room for all of us there. Yeah.
That's incredible.
And as she says, "That's incredible," Desmond just kind of looks at each one of them in the eyes and just, "Great work."
They all give it to you. And you see Katze, the tiger, she leans in and she says, "Tonight, once the combat begins, you should stay with us, I think, yeah?"
And Desmond just kind of leans in and just, "Seems like a good idea."
Yeah.
He's kind of elbows back.
Horstman is completely oblivious to this, but let me resolve that natural 20 first. Finn, this is something that you've noticed in the time that you've been walking through here. There's a lot of flammable stuff. The barrels look relatively innocuous. A lot of it is disguised. Some of it has hay and things stacked up around it to hide what it is. And with that natural 20, give me insight, but you can give it with advantage because this is not something to see. This is something to understand.
All right. Hopefully my dice will continue to be good to me.
Here we go.
Look, I don't trust the digital dice anymore.
I get it.
You said that's with advantage?
Yeah.
First one's a 19
Excellent.
and an 18.
Excellent.
The special
It-
die you have.
I do. It's mine.
It occurs, die hard dice, y'all. It occurs to you as you're sort of pondering all this through, as all your friends are coming around, it just sort of like tickles at the back of your mind. There's no reason to hide anything from the undead. They won't know either way. So anything hidden is to hide from people.
Oh boy. Because the undead won't care about those barrels.
Not at all.
I will definitely relay that. Do I see kind of are they all together or is it just everywhere there's these hidden barrels?
Just intermittently. There's just a lot of them. There's not just like a central stockpile.
Okay.
Because again, as we talked about last time, there's definitely weapon caches and things, and those are very obvious, especially because when all hell's breaking loose, you don't really have time to check. So there's just bundles of arrows places, just spare swords stabbed into hay, like things of that nature.
Okay.
This is something different.
Okay, I will definitely relay that to everyone. And there's something not right about this.
Not right about what?
There's a lot of explosives and flammable things hidden around. We're fighting the undead.
You said explosives?
Explosives, undead, or explosives, fire. Zombies don't care about that. And why would you hide it if you need your soldiers to not get caught in the way?
And just hearing that, Desmond immediately is concerned because having run tactical maneuvers before, he just knows, and he just says to the group, the only reason you would put explosives in an area like this is if you're expecting to sack it. This makes zero sense. Why would they have explosives here unless they're expecting this whole area to go away?
I think there's a dreadful possibility that they may be planning for that eventuality. We know that
It's maybe not a secret. It's maybe that is, if this area becomes overly infested, then we run deeper in, yes?
If this area becomes overly infested, they have this area to be exploded. This area is literally cannon fodder. This is a delaying tactic. They are hoping that maybe they can set this ablaze and the undead don't recognize the fire and just walk through it, and then they come out the other side cooked. But what about the soldiers? What about this team? And then when he says this team, he points at the Lycans and just like, what about this team that they set here to defend this area?
You notice Bjorn Horseman has walked over, and like the five of them are kind of talking, and they sort of like look when you motion, and they just like wave at you. All five of them wave at you, and then go back to their conversation. I will also say, this section of the city is heavily occupied. All of them are. There's people everywhere. They're armed, but there is no place without civilians, because there are no civilians in Lakar. Everyone is a combatant.
Unless it's supposed to be a last-ditch effort, we all are going to die anyway and take the city move. This isn't right.
This seems like a sacrificial area. I don't know about you, but I'm not a fan of being sacrificed.
Nor am I.
Valentine, you notice Tatiana's absolutely beat to hell. There are big, bright bruises all over her blue skin, but it doesn't really look broken. Like there's a couple of times where the blood has kind of come to the surface right in the middle of the bruise, but she looks like she's been through absolute hell.
I'm gonna just, in her head, be like, good bruises or bad bruises?
The best kind of bruises. Grrr.
No more questions asked.
You definitely see a change in her. There's a different look in her eye. 100%. Desmond, give me perception with advantage.
If it likes me. Or I'll just roll this lovely D20 I have here. That is 18. Well, no, my default is +3. What's the advantage add?
You just roll a second one. So whichever, you roll 2 and take the highest. So that's at least a 21 plus.
That's a 1. Yeah, let's go with the the other one.
You notice something's changed in both Tatiana and Finn. Tatiana just sort of like is walking differently. You can tell she's carrying herself not so different from these lycanthropes. Just her posture is different.
I think she unconsciously just goes over and like stands next to the wolf guy. Like, it feels good here.
Yeah. Finn, however, externally, nothing's changed, but her scent's different. She also smells. Tatiana's scent hasn't changed. Her bearing has changed. Finn's bearing hasn't changed, but her scent has changed.
And with
Definitely smells more like you.
He looks at Tatiana and just, you're different in a fairly important way that I can't put a finger on. Are you all right?
I am feeling better than I have ever felt. I think you could understand my bearing. Yes.
Maybe, but
Thank you, Dave.
something.
I
would love to talk to you a little bit later.
Well,
'cause
perhaps we
that's
just spar later, another day, and I'll show you a thing I have learned from my friend Freya.
So, sparring, you can show me your differences. Okay. And he just kind of logs that into the back of his mind, and he just looks at Finn and just. And he looks at the lycanthropes and just. What have you done? He just kind of like leans in really close when he says, like, what did you do? You smell a whole lot like me, and that's that's not normal at all. Would it? Something.
Why do you want to know, Desmond?
Just curious. Not upset. Just you made some friends. Yay. Good for you.
Oh, I made friends. And I just smile so you can see the very long fangs.
That's new.
Mm-hmm.
Finn, you are looking quite lovely. I imagine I'm here and overhear this.
Oh, well, thank you, Tatiana. Never thought you'd notice.
It is a glow you have. It's
Yes,
nice.
I can't quite put my finger on it.
Desmond just like a glow. And he just looks at her and just okay.
And I just lean in. And I'm like, we're more alike than you would think now.
I had that feeling.
Hopefully. It does. It does. I thought Valentine's blood was exquisite.
It's first I am
However-
hearing.
Well, that wasn't.
Everyone been up to?
Oh, that was an accident. She was hurt. She helped me up, and her blood dripped in my mouth. I didn't bite her on purpose. Look, I did. I'm not gonna lie.
Brother Uriah and Valentine both give me perception with advantage, because you all might notice different things.
Advantage, you say?
Yes.
That is an 18.
Excellent.
Let's see if I can do better than that. 23.
You both notice different things. Valentine, you notice Nahara has a little bit of a 1,000-yard stare. Like she's there, but she's not completely there. Like she's looking at you guys, but it's like she's looking through you. Brother Uriah, you feel, you can't put your finger on it. You just feel there's something around her now that wasn't before. You are a spiritual man. You have a sense of the other world. It's just something about her has changed.
I'll approach her, actually. Nahara, are you all right?
Oh, yes. Never better.
It's just
Why
that...
do you ask?
well, there seemed to be, for lack of a better word, some sort of presence. As though something has changed.
How right you are.
That is unnerving. But are you well? There's nothing I can help with?
Oh, I don't think this is a situation where help is even a thing. I feel great.
I see.
I promise.
Of course. Do let me know if there's anything I can do.
Of course.
This city's
Is
having a
everything well
strange
with you,
effect on a
Wahel?
lot of us.
What was that potion you were handing about?
Oh, it's for removing. It's for stopping the plague. It's for stopping the plague.
Plague.
Oh,
Right.
the taint?
Yes, that's it.
what?
Yes, that's it.
Oh,
Let's not speak any more of it, shall we?
certainly.
Yes. Now then, these barrels of explosives. I think we're not currently being directly observed by anyone, right?
Again, Horstman kind of pulled the four of them away. Like, you can see they're all talking, and you see he's like motioning at things, and they're like, looking up and talk. But I mean, as far as you know, the six of you are kind of there together.
Having spoken directly to the Supreme Commander last night, I think I can say without fear of reproach that she would be quite willing to sacrifice areas of the city and those who dwell in it if it led to ultimate victory.
Oh, I think you're right there, Uriah. Very much so.
Yes.
But do you think, since they fight so much undead, and this is when I recall like shooting things with fire spells, perhaps that's just to aid in the destruction of the undead that attack the city?
One would hope. But I fear that, again, perhaps she sees everyone as ultimately expendable.
Oh, you're very right, I think, in that. I think she would see this whole place burn down.
Right then, you see Horseman turns, and he's like, diplomats, Entschuldigung bitte, might I would like to discuss with you your tactical assessment of Lakar. Is perhaps I will walk with you. I will show you the troop emplacements. I would welcome your thoughts on the strategy. I know you all are all accomplished warriors of differing skill sets.
Yes, of course.
And he does proceed to do just that. He does take you all over the city. And Lakar is a sprawling metropolis, or at least it was. Again, the entire river district is basically barren now, and destroyed. But I mean, this is a city that could accommodate thousands. It currently accommodates hundreds. But he does show you, and he's very open. He's like, yeah, see, this is a place where they hold this gate here. If they must fall back, they fall back to this position here. He does not address the flammable objects in any way. He just walks through, but he's like, yeah, and there's the walls. Of course, the walls are 40 feet high, 30 feet thick. We had the archers on the walls, and he just is giving you all the entire lowdown.
I lean over to Desmond and the others. Should we point out the Bernie things?
Oh, he knows.
Yes, considering his rank, I suspect he's well aware of their presence.
I meant more why he's not pointing them out to us.
Is a good question. I will ask.
Oh, I like that.
Horseman, why are you hiding things?
Does anyone try and stop Tatiana before she says this?
No, Desmond was going to follow up and do it himself. So
nope.
Brother
Right.
Uriah will make some panicked noises, but I doubt it will do any good.
You call me diplomat, let me diplomat.
No one. Oh,
This is how I diplomat, okay? Horsemen,
We're
you
all gonna
lied to
die.
us. You show us everything, but
Pretty
not
Rye is
exploding
diplomat.
barrels.
They're not really the.
Exploding barrels. I do not know the word. Was?
And Desmond just leans in right when he says, I do not know the word was, and just says, Entschuldigung bitte. That is explosive.
Ah, nine is the barrels of hay. You know, it's all. That's just is you know is.
You say?
that's
It is
and then-
hidden. Yeah.
Tatiana
Desmond's
takes her
like-
kukri and stabs one. Does Hay do this?
It starts to leak out, and he's like, must be if we must immolate survivors of the undead, then I suppose is to perhaps delay the pursuit of the fleeing soldiers. I think.
what fleeing soldiers? They're your soldiers.
Yeah, but sometimes the soldiers, they must fall back. It's like, you know, we all fight here and then we fall back and we fight over here. You know, that's it. Vladeska Drakov has thought through every aspect of the defense of Lakar. If this is what she has decided to place here, I assure you, it is the soundest tactical position for this barrel is that exact spot. Yeah.
Do you know something else about this you are not telling us? Yes?
You're all welcome to make an insight check.
Yes.
Oh boy.
3.
17.
You've successfully rolled
21.
disbelief. 21.
Guys,
I got a nat 20 for
Natural 20 from
21.
Dahara, 22 from Uriah.
22.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you,
7.
D&D Beyond.
Finn and Tatiana, you are certain he's lying. Desmond, Uriah, Valentine, and especially Nahara, he's not. He didn't know. And when you guys are like, what the hell? He's like, must have a good reason. It's fine.
It was a 21. I don't know.
You do know. You
Okay,
do know.
I do know.
I'm gonna say only,
So
but
I have
Nahara
to-
is certain with only Finn and Tatiana. Sorry, Finn and Tatiana are sure he's lying. The rest of you were like, no, I don't think he's lying. And Nahara, you're like, no, he's not lying. But when he's like, she must have a good reason, he believes she must have a good reason.
Yes, very
Horsemen.
devoted, that one.
I understand you are very important here, but I have learned a thing or two from your soldiers, and you don't want to keep lying to Tatiana like this.
Tatiana, I assure you, Herr Horstman is in earnest. He is.
Are you sure? Because I thought that I was pretty sure I picked up on.
Oh, he had no idea.
Okay. If you're better.
Like none.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing.
Entschuldigung, bitte.
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to-
Perhaps I can lead you back to your quarters so that you might have the bit of the food and the rest, so that you will be prepared for. And then you hear 9. I will have them accompany me now. And you see Vladeska Drakov standing with a division of her talons. There is something I wish for them to see. And there is a good place for us to take a break. We'll be back in a quick 10. I was not ready with my list of patrons. I will thank you all properly when we come back.
Ooh.
But 10 minutes, don't go nowheres. You all are escorted through the streets of Lekar to what resembles a cathedral, but dedicated to no god in particular. Vladeska Drakov walks up, confidently striding through the doors, and her guard of talents open the doors, but do not enter. Even Bjorn Horseman stops at the doorway, but she keeps going. And he just looks at you, and he leans over to you, Brother Uriah, and says, "This is a holy place. We are not allowed to enter. Please help your friends behave themselves, yeah?"
Oh, yes. Well, as you can see, I have a remarkable influence over all of their behaviors.
Mach schnell! As she continues walking into the cathedral.
Yes, sir. Well, schnell, everyone. Schnell.
She walks all the way up to what at one point would probably have been where the priests performed their sermons. But you see in this place, the pews have all been pushed to the side. And there is what looks like a slab with a body laying on it that is covered by a silken sheet. And she walks up and stands on the other side of it, and it does not move.
Brother, I think this is your bag.
Is there a need for last rites to be performed?
Nine, it is far too late for penance, I think.
Supreme Commander, you seem to have brought us here with a purpose, yes?
While you're in the middle of talking, she snatches the sheet back, and you all see Nahara dead, laying on that slab. It
But
looks just
Nahara-
like it
Do
looks
we roll
just
for
like
sanity?
her. She's got white fluffy wings. She looks like she's asleep. She looks completely calm and at peace, with her arms crossed upon her chest, wearing a white gossamer robe. She looks angelic.
I want to go and grab the Nahara standing here.
She's right there.
I want to grab her and try and put her in a headlock.
Nahara, do you attempt to resist Tatiana attempting to...
You imposter! You have to kill her friend and taken her place!
Are you mad?
But-
That's me!
No, yes, I know. That is Nahara.
Tatiana.
Push my way and make my way towards my body.
You are muted, Valentine.
Thank you. I'll just put my hand on Tatiana and just let go.
Don't put that. What?
No, trust me.
She lets go.
You all see, as all of this is happening, Vladeska Drakov has not moved an inch, but she's just holding this silken shroud that was over this body and just staring daggers at Nahara. Just,
I'm sure there's a logical explanation for all of this.
I don't think logic is here anymore, Brother Uriah.
How can she be there when she is here? Now,
Perhaps
on the night
you.
of the conflict, you Darkonians come and attempt to addle my mind somehow with this deception, huh?
No deception on
Oh,
our
I
part.
promise you, it's not deception. You just can't get rid of me so easily.
you see, she puts her hand on her sword, but she doesn't draw it. And she says, I am not afraid of the undead. I am not afraid of ghosts and specters. I am not afraid of anything.
Of course not. Of course, no. Your bravery is not in question.
Desmond just looks directly at Vladeska and just says, "Are these not the mists? Don't unexplained things happen here all the time? You have undead attacking the city in waves on the new moons. This is what the mists do. They get weird. Does this make sense to us? Not at all, but surely as someone who is in charge of a city with undead at your border regularly, this can't seem that far out of the ordinary for the mists.
I'm just
And
gonna
I can
address.
assure you, Vladeska, that no matter what you do, you will never be rid of me.
She's a bit of humor to lighten a rather serious situation. Supreme Commander, clearly this is not the same person. Two people can resemble each other, certainly.
The elephant in the room is, why do you have her body?
This was my question.
Whoever this is, like, regardless of if these two are the same person, and frankly, I don't particularly care about that. The question is, you have a lot of people that I'm sure you've slain. Why this one, and why did you keep it?
Yes, it's weird. It's like shrine. Are you
And
obsessed?
considering they burn all the other bodies because undead, that is a fantastic question.
Do tell.
Question.
Maybe we let her speak. Should we have lots of questions?
Would love to get an answer.
Yes, Finn.
Why does Nahar's body look like this and isn't decomposed?
The priests have ways to keep a body in a state of gentle repose, where the body does not decay, and yet they were not able to bring her back when I commanded them to.
Why did you command them to?
When this one died is when everything went wrong. We had victory after victory. We mowed down countless enemies, and we came here to Falkovnia to bring glory and order. And for a time, was there good. And when my men swarmed across the streets of Lekar and struck down this one, some curse came down upon us. Some blight came down upon us, and as the next new moon, the dead rose. And I know it is because of this woman's death, and now she stands before me again, and I do not know if the solution is to simply kill her a second time, and she does draw her sword.
Desmond jumps right in front of her
my axe.
and just like blocks her and
Perhaps.
looks her in the face and just, you recognize that the undead started to rise when you killed her the first time. Does it really seem like a good idea to kill her again?
Perhaps it is the cosmic consequence of your actions.
She does seem doomed to repeat her bad decisions.
She turns and says, "Ah!" and slashes through a pillar, and it just shatters immediately with a single sword strike. I do not make bad decisions!
Of course not. Of course not.
Brother Uriah, I understand where you're coming from, but question for you, ma'am, Supreme Leader. I'm not sure the title you'd like to go by, but
Supreme Commander.
The real question here is, why did you kill her the first time?
It was war. My soldiers were taking the city from the old, weak leadership. We were expanding my empire. This was to be the last place. Lekar was to be the crown jewel. The last battle. Finally, peace. Finally.
Are you telling me you wanted to occupy land that wasn't yours?
That's not unexpected.
That is generally the way conquering warriors do things.
Yeah.
So you wanted to come in and take somebody's land that didn't belong to you, and you're wondering why everything went wrong?
All of you make insight checks.
Okay.
To be fair, it has worked out for a lot of people in history. It's not a recommendation, but I will say.
Not
Also-
for the conquered, it isn't.
Brother Uriah, I have asked you a question via chat there. I don't know if you saw it.
Oh, the dice like me. It's a natural 20. It's a
What is it again that we're
23.
making? It's a
No,
perception?
insight.
Great.
15.
17.
Finn,
Yes.
as you are staring at this woman, you hear a familiar voice that spoke to you very recently, whispers in your ear.
She is afraid. She knows the faces of the zombies that harry and assault her new moon after new moon. This curse that has come upon her is my will, the will of Strahd von Zarovich.
What would you have me do about it?
Let her suffer.
But what of our friend?
That shell is no longer her.
Do we dispose of her body then?
He does not respond again.
And I just kind of tilt my head and look at her. And I actually summon the others over. Like, still watching her, but pulling them slightly away.
You see, she's still standing there with her sword, and she's still got the shroud in the other hand, but she does not move an inch. She's
Okay.
still just staring daggers through Nahara.
I take my wings and cover Nahara because I'm still in my other form, since we didn't get a chance to go rest.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is the doing of someone that both Nahara and Brother Uriah and I have met. It is her curse and in his will. She's terrified of what her actions have wrought. Let her suffer, he said.
I'm sorry, what? Brother Uriah, you're muted.
I'm afraid I'm not sure I understand.
Does the name, well, remember the name von Zarovich?
Well, we were discussing him earlier, yes, but
This is his doing.
Wait, hold on. Is everyone have voices in their head except me?
I don't know. Well, you've got the brand and the axe.
Okay.
You've got enough issues.
Hey.
Yes,
it's
there was
offensive.
barely any room in there for me, Valentine.
Great.
Supreme Commander, I must say I admire your restraint. This is very puzzling to all of us, and Uriah seems to stiffen for a moment. Yes, Supreme Commander Drakov, you will forgive me, but I think it is time I intercede.
Who speaks to me now?
You are being addressed by the Lord of Darkon, Ezelin Rix.
I recognize you. This name. You may speak. I have no designs on Darkon.
Of course, I am aware of what you have told my envoy, and clearly, these representatives of Darkon do not wish you ill. It is a most disturbing puzzle. This one, Nahara, that you seem to have such an interest in. An enigma, to be sure. She appeared in Darkon without her memories. But it is entirely possible that she had nothing to do with your dilemma. I think the blame lies with another.
Who? Give me the name of this person, and I will paint the walls with their blood and impale their body on my wall.
I myself was unaware until now. It seems we have a common enemy.
Who?
Strad von Sarovich.
I know this name. In my conquest, I steered far away from Barovia. Why would this man hold a grudge with me, make war against me?
His ways are not necessarily logical. He has been a thorn in my side for many years. But I ask only that you do not slay these individuals for their insolence. It would be a personal favor, one ruler to another.
She immediately resheaths the sword and she says,
They will not die by my hands. I will do what I can to guarantee their safety through the night. But as you must know, in war, accidents happen.
and she motions at Nahara's dead body when she says that.
Of course. You may consider Darkon and Aslan Rex an ally. I shall return my envoy.
Yeah,
Treat
when
him
this
gently.
is done, when we have decimated this undead plague, I will send envoys to treat with you, Lord Rex, and we combined will have words with this Strahd.
Excellent. Back to you, brother. Oh God. That was...
Ben grabs Brother Uriah by the collar.
What's happening?
Uriah?
I could hear the words coming from my mouth, and I couldn't. It was horrible. It was like I was a puppet.
Are you sure?
Tatiana leans down to Valentine and says, I thought we were only pretend envoys. We were real envoys the whole time.
I am going to take this conversation telepathic really quick.
You see Vladeska Drakov pulls the silk shroud very reverently. She is not a gentle woman, yet she very carefully covers it again. And she looks at you, Nahara, and she says,
Whatever you are not my enemy. All of you regain your strengths. Hopefully you survive the night and you will have my permission to go.
and she turns and storms out.
Oh, I still have Uriah by the collar because Fen wants some answers.
Oh yeah, no,
Like-
she leaves. You all are just still standing there.
As she leaves, like Desmond just kind of leans in and is like, my dude, that was smooth. How did you just like excellent? Like that was fancy.
I didn't do anything.
You just you turned into somebody else. You just said, I need you all to do things. It was great.
It was
How'd
very
you do
powerful.
it?
Yes, we were all
How'd you
so
do it?
impressed.
It was great.
No, it
Y'all
wasn't me. It was
Raya.
If you've met Brother Uriah, you would all understand he would not be capable of being that.
Creepy.
Cool.
I'm
You just
Raya.
gotta tell her that we
Sure.
were in the midst. So none of this is a problem for me. I just think it's awesome. Dude,
It makes
keep-
sense that it happens, but I do fully believe that that was not Brother Uriah.
No, it was totally Brother Uriah.
Are we
Nahara.
going to leave my body here?
What are we going to do with it?
You already have another.
Well, why don't we put it in our quarters for now in the bastion? For
What, do you want to
safety?
just carry it around? That's weird.
has no
That's
one
not
noticed.
what I mean.
I mean,
Do we burn it?
Uriah.
No.
Mm,
the horror on the slab.
Yes, yes, Uriah. Sorry, go ahead.
The horror on the slab. She appears as she did in that painting.
Yes. Yes, exactly. That's me. What does she even want with my body here? Why have I been preserved is the wrong word. We can't just leave me here.
I know the how of it. It is a spell which I've recently been granted access to. But it's clear that this murder of the first you is what caused all of this. And Strahd von Zarovich is involved somehow. I'm so sorry. I assure all of you, my friends, I don't know what just happened to me.
I let Uriah down, but none too gently. You and I are going to have words after we're leaving here. I saved your life.
Yes.
We have trusted you. And now you have Aslan Rex in your head.
Well, it's as you said earlier, Tatiana, that ambassador business, it was something I came with up on the spot, but...
Okay, so I was not
We're
confused.
alive because he intervened.
I don't mean the lie about being ambassadors. I mean whatever just happened now.
Well,
That's what I mean. We're alive.
It happened
because
before,
he
when we were fighting the plants. You recall, I was near death and he reached out and somehow saved me that time.
Well, I too was near death, so I didn't see it that time.
Look, if we have protection of several Dark Lords, it's not a problem, is it? Does he need something in return?
Considering where we are, I'd say that we're probably in as good a place as we're gonna be. But Nahara, I feel like the only thing to properly do is to put that old you to rest.
That's what I mean. Brother Uriah, you're a man of, the church, and what... Is there something we can do? I can't just leave. Is there a
apparently
ritual, a rite, a burial, anything?
The corpse is apparently already under the influence of a gentle repose, but I could cast a ceremony, I suppose.
Would you?
Yes, of course. Of course.
To what end, Brother Uriah, would you like to speak over this body?
The burial rites. Rites which would be normally used to see a spirit on to its next stage of existence, though I will say it would seem your spirit has passed on already. But of course, I'll anoint the body with holy water and say the appropriate prayers.
Thank you.
Of course.
And you all stand there as Brother Uriah prepares and gives your friend a beautiful funeral.
Nahara, I suppose if anyone is to say a few words, it should be you.
Oh God, I suppose I don't know what to say. I don't know why I'm here. And I don't know why I'm there. And I don't know what's changed in me or why. And I don't know why we're all together. But I know that we must be for some greater reason. It's the only thing I have to hold on to. Is the hope that we're all here for a good reason. And that our fates are somehow intertwined so that we could all have a better life. I wish there was more I could say, but I can't remember.
There's no need to say more.
And what, if anything, do you all do with her?
Desmond has been hunting around for a shovel since the end of the ceremony, hoping to find one to give her a proper burial.
I create a flame in my hand as an offer.
It's probably best not to let the body stay here. It's already missing a soul. It might. Well, look where we are.
We could burn it.
No.
Again,
There-
we already have another.
There is a patch of earth outside the cathedral. You can see all of the graves have clearly been dug up in the past. Whoever was here has long since been removed, but there would be soil to bury her, most likely in an unmarked grave, if it was your intention.
I'll look at Nahara. Will you allow me to carry her out?
That would mean everything to me. Thank you.
And I gently pick up Nahara and follow Desmond out to this unmarked grave.
You notice when you pick her up, she is cold, but she's still completely supple. It's like she's sleeping in your arms as you lift her up.
Fenn's gonna file away how that feels for later, but she is very gentle and almost, reverent isn't quite the right way, but she's very gentle with this other Nahara.
As you all reemerge from this cathedral, Drakov and all the Talons are gone, but you see Bjorn Horseman is still standing there, and his jaw is open as you were holding her, and he looks at the body and he looks at Nahara, but he doesn't say a word.
Oh, does
As
he
you
know
will-
it's her?
Oh, it's identical.
Oh, because I shrouded. I left
Oh,
the
do you want to
shroud on.
Okay, then he doesn't see that it's her. He just sees you all come out again. And he just sort of like, his jaw's open, but he doesn't say a word as you all sort of process past him towards the patch of earth that you can commit her to.
I lean over to Nahara and I want to tell her, I bet she had many beautiful memories.
I like to think so.
We will make more.
Nahara, this is not you. You stand here before us with your friends.
Yes. Yes, you're right. I just didn't want my body to be in her possession.
Before we commit the body to the ground, I'll perform another casting of Gentle Repose. I'm not sure how long it's been since the last one.
It doesn't take long for Desmond to dig the hole. The ground is soft and accustomed to such things. And it doesn't take long to cover her up, completely disguised by the other mounds all around.
Yeah, Fenn is very quick but respectful, and actually bows and says goodbye before she stands and brushes herself off and stands with Nahara and offers an arm if she wishes.
I would like to find something discreet to mark the place, and then I stand up and I do take Fen's arm. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're muted.
After this, you all make your way back to your house to rest and collect your strength. Horseman doesn't say anything else to you except when you arrive at the door, he just sort of nods and says, I will come for you before midnight to assist you in however you might see fit. And then after that, I will see you in the morning, yeah?
Yeah.
He ushers you all in, and unless anyone else has anything they want to do, you have time to get a long rest, but it is deep into the night by the time you are prepared again. I do have one question. As everyone is resting there, in a fitful sleep has come upon almost all of you. Valentine, you hear Tregram's voice. I'm confused.
About which part of this?
All of it?
There.
I felt you and Nahara were of a similar state, and yet there is only one you, and more than one of her.
I thought so as well. It could mean that we're less similar than we thought, or it could mean that the magical influence that brought me back is just different than the magical influence that brought her back.
I am I was created to a certain end. I do not comprehend mortality or the finality of it, but if Nahara has returned, why do they grieve? Do you feel this sense of loss for what you were?
No. I think that it would appear to me that Nahara, when she returned, came back with all of the feelings she once had and none of the memories. I think that I came back with all of the memories and none of the feelings.
Well, if you don't mind me saying, I think you got the superior end of things.
I think what we did tonight was absolutely foolish because that spell's going to wear off. But, you know, I'm sure they've been keeping her body preserved all of this time to prevent her from turning into the undead. And goodness hope that we are not here in 10 days. But for whoever might be, if anyone, they might have a winged creature crawling out of the ground in 10 days, undead. And this whole dramatic lovey-dovey ceremony was entirely pointless.
A terrible prospect. Might I pose one last query?
Yes.
Should the unthinkable happen, should you yourself need to be committed to the earth in such a way, or set alight as I feel like you would prefer, Would you want words spoken over you such as this?
No, I don't think so. Especially not in this setting. What, a bunch of people that have only just met me and at what is undoubtedly my worst, speaking about how they cared about me and how kind I was? No, certainly not. I'd rather people not stand over a corpse and lie.
Well, I am but a humble observer, and I feel like Tatiana's affection is genuine. And I am a keen student who learns quickly. The others seem to feel true kinship for you. I do not understand it really, I simply observe.
I will do my best not to die again. For Tatiana's sake, and for the sake of not going without finding out what happened to Nika.
Yes. I'm interested in that as well. Well, with your permission, Valentine, I shall return myself to my thoughts and what it might take to get you through tonight.
Thank you, Shrekram.
You all wake up, rested only in the strictest technical sense, before a very, very small knock comes at the door.
Well, seeing as how there's only two of us awake, I'll go answer the door.
Everyone is beginning to stir and get their armor on, and you see a familiar golden-haired little girl standing with a very oversized helmet on and a couple of 2x4s that have been lashed together to give her some sort of protection. Entschuldigung bitte, I was coming to say good luck to all of you in the conflict. Is Finn awake yet?
I believe so.
Yeah, who's asking?
It's Hildy. Yeah, it's
Oh.
and
Yes,
she
Hildy.
holds up the stuffed, boneless zombie. And she comes forward and she holds it out to you, Finn. And she says, I think you need this for luck. He will keep you safe.
She takes it and she's looking at Hildy. Don't tell me you mean to go out and fight.
Yeah? You think I cannot?
You're a child.
There are no children in Le Car. That is what my Mutti says to me. Yeah, we all fight. It's okay. I will be on the walls with the slinging and jumping from roof to roof. This will be okay.
All right.
Yeah, we will be in the northern ward.
All right. Well,
I will try to leave some of the undead for you.
and I reach out and take her arm in a warrior's grasp.
Yeah.
She's a tiny little thing, isn't she?
Oh, yeah. Skin and bones.
You should eat first before you go fight more zombies.
Yeah, but we had our ration, and I shared half of mine with Muti. You know, he is old. He needs more food than me. It helps me stay quick.
Do I have any rations I can give her?
Absolutely.
I dig around in my bag and I give her some rations. Yeah, I think you need that more.
Yeah, thank you. And she just like takes a big bite out of kind of the hardened cheese. Like, yeah, sehr gut.
Hildy, before you
Hey,
go,
yeah.
I believe I can spare one of these. Handing over a flask. It is not for drinking. It will burn the undead if they are splashed with it. You can throw it and it will shatter against them. Save it for when you need it.
Sehr gut. Not for drinking, for the burning. Yeah. Thank you. And she runs forward. She hugs you around the leg, Brother Uriah.
Oh, be safe, and may Ezra watch over you.
Yeah. And we will meet again at the carnival. I still has the ticket. And she pulls out the golden ticket. She's like, Moti says after we make it through this, we will go. Yes, and we will play the games and see the things. Yes?
Yes, of course.
Don't lose that ticket.
Got it. Yeah. Luck in battle, huh? Yeah.
Get home safe.
I will help keep home safe. Yeah. And she turns and walks out.
And as she walks out, Desmond takes out his flask and says, well, that one may be for throwing. This one's for drinking.
Desmond, we just woke up.
It's always time for rum.
The child just came to the door and said they're going to war. It's as good of a time to drink as any.
Yes.
Cheers.
I had to kill as a child. You are not the same after.
Oh, I know. I was just hoping to spare someone else the same things we dealt with.
It's true.
She's not much.
Not much what?
Oh, she's just not much younger than Uriah was when I met him.
Yes. Though
That's fair.
I think far more capable. Ezra, preserve her.
And may this preserve you. And Desmond hands Finn his flask.
She takes a sip and gives it back. And then she looks at this boneless doll and looks at Uriah.
It looks like him, right?
He pulls his out.
I haven't forgotten yesterday, though.
Nor have I. Though I wish I could. It was
Or-
horrid.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Finn,
But
Finn, you must
yes.
understand. I don't know what's happening either. I swear to you, by all that is holy, I don't know what is happening.
You know that I don't hold anything with your Ezra. But provided we survive the night, we will talk. I don't mistrust you too much, but this is not normal. And I didn't... sorry.
No, please.
And I didn't save you all those years ago to see someone take you away from us too soon.
I'm not sure if I trust myself, to be honest.
That exact second, you all hear as horns blowing all over the city. And immediately afterwards, you can hear a pin drop. There is absolute silence. And as you make your way outside, Vladeska Drakov is standing on the roof of her citadel with Bjorn Horseman and Hagen, the other man you met, standing next to her. And she looks small up there, but her voice is thunderous. It comes from everywhere. Brothers and sisters, sons and daughters of Falkovnia, tonight, the undead will make their return. Are you afraid? No. We will show them what the true born of Falkovnia do, yeah? Yeah! We will show these Darkonian diplomats, and points at all of you, our strength and courage, so they will go and tell the world about the glory of Falkovnia, yeah? Yeah! Go! Fight! Be fearless! Do not retreat! I will fight among you! And you see she comes and starts coming down, and you hear cheers coming from all over the city. The first truly joyous moment you all have heard since you've been here. Like everybody, and everybody's rushing to get into position.
as this whole hoopla is going on, I step aside and I'm convening with the spirits and the cards, and I just say, keep my body safe.
You just feel something agreeing with you. Unless you all want to do anything else, when the time comes, they do bring you all near the Bastion Ward. Recall, Hagen's troops were on the other side of the Bastion Ward. They show you where all the ladders are, where you can get up and down the walls and move around. Hildy is going to be in the north. You find the lycanthropes have also been deployed to the north. Jaeger, Katze, Aber, and Unge are up there. So you all basically have three options. You can be up on the walls. You can also go to the north, or you can help defend the Bastion Ward. This city is massive. It is impossible to be everywhere.
Tatiana will be in the Bastion Ward because wherever she can wield her axe, she is most useful.
I'm going to be wherever the lichens are.
So to the north, okay?
Also same.
What's
North?
the highest vantage point? I'd like to be at a point where I could oversee where Tatiana's battling, if it's possible.
Up on the roof of the governor's keep, essentially. You could be up there.
Is
Which
the
is actually
Bastion-
probably, is not only the highest place, it's probably the safest.
Is the Bastion Ward inside, so like it would take time for them to come there?
Yes.
Oh, then I'll start with the lycanthropes too and fall back as needed.
Perfect. Also going to the north, Valentine's and Overwatch. Yes, Nahara?
I would like to be on the wall so that I can have the height advantage and then make ranged attacks.
Perfect. Excellent. And where will Brother Uriah be?
Is there anyone else going to the north?
Yes, Tatiana, Desmond, and Finn are all going north.
And Hildy is in the north.
And Hildy is in the north, as well as the lycanthropes have been deployed to the north.
Very well.
If I can offer Brother Uriah, you and I aren't exactly the swing to hit type, but
No.
I think you care about their safety in the same way that I have a vested interest. If you'd like to come up to the vantage point with me, we could keep an eye.
Yes. I'll admit, I usually just use this to clutch in fear.
I've noticed.
Yes. Yes, but at the same time, I wish to protect Hildy if I can.
I think that Tatiana, Fen, and Desmond are going to be a lot better at that than we are. And if we see anything happen, we'll get you in there.
Very well. The vantage point will let me see where my healing abilities might come in most useful.
As you all get to the north, you see all through the city, basically that most of the children are up on roofs with bows and arrows and slings. They're not completely heartless. They're like the children have to fight because everyone fights, but you know, they are up in higher places. You also see a lot of the older people have been put up in higher places or more behind the supply lines, even though a lot of them have these makeshift bits of armor, barrel tops as shields, things of that nature. But everybody is where they're supposed to be. You know, nobody is out really wandering around. And exactly at the stroke of midnight, you all hear it from all directions, all at once. Brother Uriah, your undead sense begins to go haywire. Recall when you first got here, you felt like you simultaneously were surrounded and not surrounded all at once. Now you are 1,000% sure you were surrounded. And up on the walls, you hear, "Here they come! Loose!" From as archers on the walls begin firing in all directions, as you all get into the north near one of the walls, getting in position, you see everybody seems very antsy, and a couple of them start drawing their bows back and pointing. And one of the Talons is like, 99999, preserve your strength. If you draw the string too early, your arm will fail. You know, they, oh, okay. And everybody draws their swords and holds them out. And you all see up along the walls as they continue to shoot, you see one of the cauldrons of oil near one of the intersections gets dumped immediately. And you hear, Valentine and Brother Uriah, give me a perception check.
16.
16?
7. I'm terrified. And there's so much undead. There's so many. There's just so many.
Brother Uriah is actively shaking. Valentine, you see along the wall to the north where you know the rest of your friends have headed. A couple of the archers are and just disappear. Pulled off the wall by something.
I can't see what's causing it, if there's like any kind of...
They're fighting and then something grabs them.
Brother Uriah, something is grabbing the archers off the walls.
Well, we have to help them.
Those of you in the north, give me perception checks.
There are walls in the north, yes.
Oh, yes. You can give me a
Yes.
perception check with advantage, Nahara.
Okay.
20 for Des.
Excellent. No, natural or dirty?
Dirty.
Okay.
Natural
Oh,
2 for
17.
Tatiana.
Natural 2, you say?
Nat 20.
Natural 20.
17 for me.
17. Excellent. Finn, you are aware with that natural 20 that the city has been hit on all sides. Although seemingly they have not come out of the water in the river district again. It is well fortified. Talons are placed over there because that's where they came from last time. They seem to have hit from everywhere but there. Although while you are coming up, you see Nahara up on one of the walls. And as you look over Nahara, you can see the undead have just smashed against the wall and are essentially making a ramp that is allowing some of them to come up as the rest of them are clawing.
And high on the wall, is that where they're dropping oil?
Yes.
What I would like to do is I would like to take a torch from my equipment, and as they are pouring it down, light it on fire.
All of you in the north see this light up the night, like bright enough to cast shadows in all directions as this comes pouring down. Nahara, you see the undead and begin scattering. Finn, you see from right up behind her on the wall, undead come crawling over the wall right behind her. That you see.
And that's Nahara that I see.
That is, yeah, it was Nahara up there fighting alongside the other people. But you very much see that they're behind her, having come over the wall.
Nahara. If I yell, will she hear me?
Not really.
Oh,
A lot's
great.
happening. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to
They're
second
behind
form
me?
and fly over to Nahara.
Okay. You take off, and you are able to move up close enough. Finn, as you are arriving, you see two of these undead that are crawling up start grabbing people on the walls and biting into them. And you see all of the commoners on the wall begin to scatter. And when this happens, Nahara, you see this as well. And as they are running, one of the Talons says, 9 cowards, 9, and starts attacking the commoners that are fleeing as the undead are coming over the walls.
Oh.
So,
I
for
take
this,
on a form of dread.
for the sake of a little bit of insanity, we're just kind of going to keep this moving, and we'll kind of go around the wheel here. Valentine, now having observed the fact that most of the walls, they're still fighting, but the undead are already making it over the walls as they're fighting up there. And including seeing these flames erupt in the northern district there that cast a shadow bright enough to see Nahara and see Finn fly over to the wall with her sword out. What does Valentine do?
I will go for the ones that seem to be getting the closest to our group, but far enough ideally not to hit them. And I'm going to firebolt them.
Excellent. So flames begin erupting out of Valentine's
and I will twin
hands.
spell it.
Yep. Excellent.
That is a nat 20. It's my turn, y'all. Everyone else got one tonight. It's my turn.
Finn and Nahara, is immediately you see these undead coming, mouths out and clawed faces, 2 firebolts from extremely long range. One comes out and splits in 2 and shoots them off the walls right next to you.
And almost max damage. That's 19 and then doubled.
Excellent. Desmond, seeing Finn has fled,
38.
seeing zombies are starting to get over the wall. What does Desmond do? As they start breaching the walls, you see one of the same talent is like, yeah, loose! And they start shooting, but just all directions, chaos. There's defenders on the walls. They don't care. It is just arrows and slings just begin hurtling upwards into the night.
We're still on the ground, or?
Yes, Desmond and Tatiana are still on the ground. The wall is 30 feet high, but zombies are actively starting to come over the wall. Some of them are stopping to fight. Some of them are just over it.
Desmond is enraged at the idea that they're like chopping up civilians and just, no! You fire the arrows where they go. You need these civilians, otherwise they're gonna come and get you. And he just can't take it. He just bends down and just starts to everything about him grows. He just becomes covered in a deep black fur. And he is so angry that he has little specks, like stripes of orange that kind of fleck through his fur, almost like tiger stripes. And he looks for the nearest grouping of zombies and just leaps into it.
Right when you rage and stand up, out of the shadows, you see a large rat head with jet black eyes saying, sehr gut. I was wondering when you would join into the festivities, yeah? And immediately pounces with you into the group of zombies. What is Tatiana doing when she sees this? Because next to you, you hear... And Katze lands next to you, and she's already covered in blood from having ripped up zombies. And she goes, I thought you were supposed to be some sort of wondrous fighter or whatever. I have already killed 6. Why are you standing here thinking?
Tatiana chuckles to herself as she reaches for the berserker axe on her back. The one she knows is cursed. And she says, you may want to take a step back, or perhaps 60 feet. Because the beast within is about to emerge.
Yeah.
And she goes into a rage.
Yep. Runs forward with you into these horde of zombies. Up on the wall, Nahara, in your dread form, you and Finn have a split second. You realize she's rushed to your defense, but they're coming from all sides now. Like they're actively pouring over the wall.
Okay. If they're okay, then I will just, if there's anybody close by, I'm going to Eldritch Blast anybody that's immediately.
Oh, I mean, there's
area.
As you look out over the wall into the night, as far as you can see, there's undead. Like it is like, I know, but the ground has come to life.
Is there anybody immediately like?
Oh yeah, there's plenty on the wall. Yeah, absolutely, there's plenty on the wall.
Okay, I think what I'm going to do then is I'm going to cast protection from evil and good on myself. And against undead. Fen,
Yes.
Is there a better vantage point?
I will fly up and see if there's anywhere beyond, because we're already on top of the fortress, right?
You're on the top of the wall's 30 feet. The
Mhm.
keep where Valentine is goes higher. It goes up about 50 feet, but it's also further away. It's like the center of Lakar, but the highest building, the walls are 40 feet high, but 30 feet thick. They're very strong walls, but there's a lot of zombies.
Not right now, unless we move to the center of town.
Finn, give me perception with advantage.
All right. Hopefully my brass die continues to treat me well.
Mm-hmm.
I get advantage on it anyway, which is good because I just got a terrible roll.
Great.
Okay, I am showing you all this. I am not making this up.
It's coming through for you. Excellent. Let me see if
And yeah, so it's a 21.
Excellent. I'm going to come back in a second to what you see because I need time to dig up one of my pictures.
Also, is Stuart with us?
Stuart absolutely is with you.
Would Stuart be able to give an attack?
Absolutely. What do you request?
There are a plethora of undead attacking us. You choose whoever you'd like.
I assume I'm supposed to spare the living.
I mean, if you could.
And you see that shockwave goes out again. And you see dozens of undead all fall to the ground along the wall. But immediately you notice some of them start to get back up again right then, as you all have encountered this enough times that it is not enough to kill them. Sometimes they just continue rising. Finn,
So unpleasant.
with that natural 20, second here.
Well, did Stuart's attack affect me?
No, he did.
Okay.
He which makes it clear to you that he's capable of avoiding you if he wants. So the times,
Okay.
yeah, lets you know what's going on there.
Okay.
With that natural 20, Finn, you notice a few things. I'm still working on getting my picture queued here. I apologize. But there's all kinds of undead in this oncoming horde. It is not just zombies. There's skeletons. There's things that look like desiccated corpses. There's just all manners of creatures that are just pouring from all directions towards the city. And there at the base of the wall, you see where they sort of had made this impromptu ramp out of their own bodies to come up. You notice all of that sort of undulates for a second. And the entire mass of it begins to move like one giant thing. And Nahara, give me a dex save.
All right.
Oh boy.
Do I have advantage on these? No. That's on death save. Sorry.
Yep. Dex.
I got an
Although
18.
That is actually plenty. You are able to dive to the side as this huge hand that is made out of zombies crushes onto the top of the wall. And Brother Uriah, you see a writhing mass, what can only be described as a clot of zombies, begins to come up from the ground as this giant thing climbing over the wall.
Uriah screams out, "Nahara, no!" and unleashes a guiding bolt.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll it for me.
That is 16 plus 20, 21 total.
You all see this bolt flies through and punches right into the center of it. Blows a hole where you can see bits of zombies and things. You can still give me the damage, but it continues coming forward. and coming up over the wall. Desmond and Tatiana, the two of you fighting at the base of the wall, see this, and it just smells terrible. It stinks to absolute high hell. So much so, I need Finn, Nahara, Tatiana, and Desmond to give me a con save.
Oh boy.
Perhaps I can use my unending breath to avoid breathing it in, or at least have advantage.
I'll give you advantage with that.
You did. That's
That was it with advantage?
She has it because she didn't have to breathe.
I have a 9.
Yes, Brother Uriah.
Oh, I
that's
have advantage?
nine points of radiant damage.
9 damage. I'll give you advantage
16.
also for those of you that don't breathe. I'll give advantage. Yes. 16 from Finn. What was it from Desmond?
9.
9.
I'm
Excellent.
gonna roll my actual die from here on out.
I get it.
That would have been better.
Ooh,
Okay.
20 from Tatiana.
20 in Nahara.
19.
Everyone but Desmond, it is just horrifically bad. Unfortunately, your keen sense of smell is double-edged, Desmond, as you begin to violently vomit, and you take 9 points of damage and are poisoned from the unbearable stench rolling off of this mass of undead that is pouring up over the walls.
Powerful death.
Yes. However, Desmond and Tatiana, seeing this thing starting to rise up, which again, the wall's 40 feet high, and it is pulling itself up over it, which is just a mass of arms and legs and heads and torsos. It is glowing because Brother Uriah has shot it, but it is clearly coming over the wall. Like, it just sweeps with an arm, knocking defenders off as it is coming over. What would you two like to do?
Oh, I go at it with my Berserker axe.
Perfect. You run forward. Desmond, you see one of the talons just goes and holds his hands out, and flames erupt from his hands towards the undead, but completely begin setting houses on fire. And the commoners that are there with their bows and arrows are screaming and caught on fire and rolling down the rooftops and things as he's just, flames are coming out. And he's like, die, 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 die.
Desmond just woo, and just points and just
you see, he just kind of like clenches his fist for a second and the fire goes out. Yep.
and he just looks at the horde and just and he looks back at the horde that's on the ground and just leaps at it.
Perfect. Tatiana, go ahead and roll for me.
Yes. Oh, I would like to attack with reckless attack, so I have advantage.
Excellent. That also means they'll have advantage back on you, be advised.
Okay, but I needed it. Still 12.
Believe it or not, that is still enough to hit it because there's just so much mass. I mean, it's huge climbing over, and you are able to just bury your axe into it. Desmond also pounces on them, ripping into them, throwing everything left and right here. Brother Uriah, Brother Uriah and Valentine, give me a perception check.
It's not great.
Neither is mine.
It's an 8 from me.
Also an 8.
As you all are standing there just hurling spells at this thing, you don't notice Vladeska Drakov come up right behind you. And she says, yeah, you all observe. This is a good shot. Yeah, I show you how to deal with this. And draws her sword, and you see her and 4 of her talons run across the roof and up onto the wall, and she literally jumps up on this thing and just starts stabbing away at it. But as the zombies are breaching the walls on all sides, and this truly terrible siege has begun, elsewhere, a very different conversation is taking place. Voronika, It was a wonderful day, beautiful day, a day of love, family, friendship, and duty. And then it all stopped. There was pain, betrayal, darkness, and cold, so cold. And then a voice calling out to you in the nothingness. You don't know how long you've been here. Has it been days? Has it been hours? Has it been centuries? But before you, a face forms, a countenance that you don't know, as two cold eyes seem to be piercing into your very soul.
Who are you?
Veronica.
How do you know my name?
Do you know where you are, Veronica?
The last thing I remember was being with my family and having a happy night together. I don't know this place. I don't know why I'm here. I just want to get back.
Back?
To my home.
Back. My dear Veronica, for you there is no back. There is no passage to the life you knew. No state of rest. Your struggle with mortal existence has come to an end.
No, it's not. It's not true. You're lying. Who are you?
Ah, of course. Allow me to present myself. I am Count Strad van Zarovich, the Lord and ruler of Barovia. Perhaps you have heard of it.
I have heard of fairy tales as a child of such a character. So really, who are you?
I can be no other than as I am. And the same is true for you, dear Veronica. You truly don't recall how you came to be here.
No. Though you seem to have an idea better than I.
You remember happiness and family and rejoicing. Do you remember why you celebrated?
I got married. It's what you do for weddings.
Yes. From this place, there are many exits. Not all of them as pleasant as what you remember, but better by far than being part of the shadow world of wispy phantoms, mournful groans, and clanking chains that are the habitual characteristics of most ghosts.
I don't want to be a ghost. I'm not supposed to be a ghost. I am supposed to be married to our man and living in our home and making things better.
You miss him.
I miss what could be.
Do you miss his brother?
What do you know of Desmond?
I will accept that answer for now. So, you don't want to be a ghost?
Who would?
You might be surprised. I have no wish for you to be among the restless dead. You deserve better. But I cannot send you back.
What can you do?
I will allow you to emerge from this place into another, more pleasant. I will, shall we say, ease your passage. Pay the
It
debt
sounds. You have
for
a place in
this.
mind.
For this, a favor later, I think. It is not easy to do for you what I am about to do.
So everything comes at a price.
When has it not?
And here, restored to consciousness, seemingly bound for a more pleasant existence somewhere, is a good place for us to stop.